and finally under the wire as they continue their journey up the straight. Quinola leading from Freeman's Leap, who's just picked up the second berth from Miss Branovich, and then in fourth place Alderfield, and finally under the wire. So they race up now to the furlong mark, and as they come to pass the stands in the closing McCarthy Insurance Group bumper, as the light fades here at Cork, it is Quinola by about 2.5 lengths to Freeman's Leap. Mr. Branovich is third, Alderfield 4, and 505 is under the wire. Racing up now to the completion of the opening 3/4 of a mile, and it's Quinola the Punchestown mare, who makes the bend a couple of lengths in front of Freeman's Leap. Then Mr. Branovich with on the outside Alderfield, and still last is under the wire. 10 furlongs to go now as they make the bend to go down the back straight, shortly coming up to the halfway stage, and it's Quinola attempting to make it start to finish, has a couple of lengths to spare, turning now to race to the halfway stage from Freeman's Leap. Mr. Branovich within 3 parts of the second, then about the same to Alderfield, who's fourth, and under the wire similar distance back in rear. Right across from the stands now as they race to the concluding 7 furlongs, it's Quinola from Freeman's Leap, Mr. Branovich, Alderfield, and under the wire. They're about halfway now down the back, with Quinola continuing to uphold a margin of a couple of lengths. Freeman's Leap, Mr. Branovich, Alderfield, and under the wire. Just been cajoled along to keep in touch, last of the 5, so they're just back where they started now as they make the turn out of the back. Quinola from Freeman's Leap, the inside of Mr. Branovich, Alderfield, and 1.5 lengths to hard-driven under the wire as they race now for the approach to the straight. Quinola 1.5 to 2 lengths in front of Freeman's Leap. Mr. Branovich in between horses, and on the outside is Alderfield, and they've left under the wire behind as they race now into the straight. Just over 3 furlongs to go. Quinola from Mr. Branovich, who has regained second. Freeman's Leap pushed along the inside, and Alderfield on the outer. Then a break to under the wire as they race in the straight now. It's Quinola from Mr. Branovich in second, and then Alderfield as Freeman's Leap begins to drop behind. But it's Quinola still going along nicely in the lead as they race now to the final furlong and a half. It's Quinola's and Patrick Mullins now beginning to push out his father's charge. Quinola and has sprinted away, has quickened up in great fashion as they race now to the final furlong, and it's Quinola out clear as they race up towards the finish. It's Quinola going to achieve a 2-win sequence. It's a rout in the last. Quinola keeps the Patrick and Willie Mullins bandwagon going. Second home, some way back, Mr. Branovich, then under the wire, who stayed on to take third, then Alderfield, and last of the 5, Freeman's Leap.
Well, Willie Mullins was saying when we spoke to him earlier on there that he's finding it difficult to get past John Kiley in these bumpers these days. He didn't have to get past him today because Quinola made it all, and it was never really much doubt.
Never in doubt at all. As I said, he turned into the straight. He's only doing a half speed there. You see, he's only lobbing along in Patrick's hands. 2 ears pricked, enjoying it. He'd do more at home. Patrick just inside the furlong pole, grabbed the hold of him, changed his hands and sent him out, sent him on, and he's absolutely bolted up. But good performance. What he's beat is another thing. As we said beforehand, there was only a match between the two of them. But very impressive indeed. Fine, big, scopy horse. And we were just saying earlier on that you thought he'd sweat it up a little bit beforehand, but it wasn't actually that. It was just the rugs there are just rubbing his shoulders a bit.